Hi everyone, this is Pooja from the Global Vegetarian, and I'm here today on the Tastemade Makers Experience platform, which is amazing by the way, with Walmart to cook up something really exciting and all party food. So these are all ingredients I got from Walmart's app for pickup and delivery, which is really helpful. It's so convenient. So I got the mayo, I got the slider buns, we got some tater tots, corn, cheese, the fiesta blend, and the coleslaw. I mean, they're all party food ingredients, right? So the first thing we're gonna do is make the slider buns. So while I open this, I'm from Jersey City. Where are you guys from? Are we all from like different parts of the world, different parts of the country? Where are we all from? So today we're working with six sliders. Just gonna put that away for us. And start, we're gonna slice them in half. It doesn't really matter if it's like completely even because we're gonna add stuff inside it and it's party food. It doesn't really matter. Ooh, Nashville. I really want to visit Nashville. I've heard the food and music scene there is amazing. Um, these to go on a lined baking tray. It's just gonna be easier to always assemble like sliders that go in the oven on a lined baking tray because the hassle of assembling it then putting it on. So always just assemble it directly on a tray. So for the first part, what we're gonna do is use some of the Great Value mayo. That's give or take 2 tablespoons. Ooh, I saw someone is from SF. The second recipe that we're gonna make is actually from a restaurant that's inspired from I ate at a restaurant in SF, and that's what inspired me. So we'll get to that. Then the Great Value ketchup. That's around a tablespoon and a half, and we're gonna give that a mix. So this is gonna be on the bottom layer of the buns. And this mixture, I mean, apart from flavor, also it really helps to keep the buns like moist when they're in the oven because you don't want them to dry out. Like that's horrible. So there's our mixture. It's just mayo and ketchup, and just gonna pour it on the buns and just spread it out evenly. Yes, there we go. After this, we're gonna use slaw. So that's the bag. Top it up. Why I particularly like to use slaw for buns instead of like other greens and other vegetables because they are crunchy. So even when they are in the oven, they don't cook through and wilt, and it gives a really nice texture and bite to the sliders, which I think is really important. Like when you have textures in food, because it's just like the flavors, the textures, everything put together. That's what makes like food a beautiful experience. So that is in particular why I like to use slaw. And with these like bags, it's just so convenient. I don't have to shred cabbage, and you got a little bit of carrot and like fiber and all in there as well. So we got slaw. Over that, we put our tater tots that I have already cooked, and I air fried them. That's my preferred method of cooking. These are the Great Value tater tots I use. You could cook in the oven or air fryer. Can they be sweet buns? Okay, so that's interesting question. So personally, I don't like to use sweet buns for the slaw, and we'll get to that in a point. I will in like um very soon. I will get to that point, and I will answer your question because that is a very important question. You can use it, but I don't recommend it. And again, I'll get to the point. So just put as many tater tots as they can hold because the Great Value tater tots are big. I mean, no complaints there, right? So we're gonna fit in. That's a good amount. So when you put the tots, you want to make sure that you got like tots on every bun versus, just like some areas are not. Tater tots are my weakness, Emily. So are mine. Like, I mean, crispy potato is you can't beat crispy potato. Like, I don't know anyone out there who cannot have crispy potato or doesn't like crispy potato. If they do, I think I'm gonna have like a really long conversation with them and try to figure out why, because I want to get into that psyche. Um, so far they managed to like fit all of the tots in there. You can overload them the way I have because again, crispy potato, more of them, why not? And then I go in with some sliced mozzarella cheese from Great Value again. You can use any other sliced cheese you want. I personally like mozzarella because it gives a really nice cheese pull. And honestly, if you're a party and you get a nice cheese pull, like people are sold there. Like you don't need to convince them about anything else. You see a nice cheese pull, everyone wants to eat it. So personally, that's why I like using mozzarella, but you could use any sliced cheese you want. Pepper jack also tastes great with this. But so I got in 4 slices. If we want it really cheesy, which maybe we want today, because why not? We're on a Walmart Tastemade, uh, you know, live stream. We want to make things cheesy. Yeah, pepper jack will definitely make it like spicier, and I mean, I love spicy food, clearly, so why not? Okay, so that's one part of it. And now for the second part, I have some pesto here that I'm gonna just spread on the top part of the buns. So what do you guys like to have like tots? Like how would you eat your tots? If like do you eat it plain? Do you have it with like do you have a favorite sauce with it? Do you make it and innovate it in a different way, like the way I've done it? Like what is your like favorite way to eat tots? Hopefully soon after you try this it's gonna be this, but before that, what's your favorite way? Yes, I agree to more cheese. Just speaking to my that's my love language, food and cheese and chocolate, clearly. But I mean, whose isn't? Please don't tell me that it is. Yes, vegan cheese also completely works. I have tried different vegan cheeses and they have worked. You can always DM me on my Instagram for like the favorite ones that I love. But for today, we're gonna stick with these Great Value mozzarella ones. Okay, so we got the and that dot came out. So let's push it back in. Let's move this to the center. That's fine. That partner is hanging out a bit. Our pesto covered. And then we put this in and just press it down ever so slightly so this one tot that keeps wanting to fly out doesn't. So that's for now. Oh, wait, I forgot the onions. See, this is what happens. We put onions in there. I mean, you can skip it if you want, but we put some sliced onions in there. There we go. See, if I would have forgotten that, that would have been bad. I mean, not bad, but you know what I mean. So onions and then the buns on top. Let's press it down again. For tots, honey mustard. You know what? I'm actually not a very huge fan of mustard, and please don't like hate me for that. But I'm genuinely not. I've never like really enjoyed mustard. But spicy ketchup, yes, I'm all on board for that. So we're gonna set this aside. Red or white onions? I've used white, but if you want it spicier, go for red. That you can completely customize it. So I have some butter that's melted here, and we're gonna add some seasonings to it, because then we're gonna pour that over this. So are you ready for that? So we got some brown sugar and chili flakes in here. So this is why I was saying that I prefer sweet, savory buns, because we're gonna add brown sugar to this to the melted butter which goes on top, which adds some sweetness to it. Um, if you really cannot get your hands on savory buns, which I mean, come on, we have a Walmart everywhere. This is available everywhere. So no excuses. But if you can't, then maybe skip out the sugar in the seasoning and do it without it. But I would still recommend trying to find the savory ones because I feel that the sweet ones sometimes can become overly sweet. And then it's not, personally, I don't enjoy it as much. Okay, so I've added the brown sugar and chili flakes. But we're gonna make it better with some oregano. This is also Great Value dried ones. And some sesame seeds. I mean, honestly, Walmart Great Value has a great selection of herbs and spices that I'm slowly getting to know better about because there are just so many. Like I was so like happily surprised to see the amount of seasonings they offer, which is great. Okay, so now the fun part. Okay, uh, this butter mixture, which has got your seasonings. It's got some brown sugar in there. And I like to use brown sugar over the white sugar, like in this recipe, because I think brown sugar has, it's like more depth in flavor than what a white sugar does. So let's go for brown. Oh, most important step. We have to poke holes in the slider buns before we pour the butter. That would have been a big boo-boo, guys, because this is where the magic happens. The holes that we create, basically when you pour the butter in and then this goes to cook in the oven with just everything comes together, it kind of seeps, this butter just seeps through and goes down into all the onions, and it cooks with the onions and it cooks on top so beautifully. Like I can't like, okay, so when you try it, you will understand how good that is. But do not skip this process ever. Like you need to like take a toothpick and just take out your anger. Don't bake it, but this can be therapeutic. There we go. And now for this, we're just gonna pour it over this, and tell me this doesn't look good. But so funny story how I came up with this. My cousin loves tots. Like it's his favorite food in the world. I think if you give him tots in different forms for like all his meals and every day, he will just happily have it. That's like he's obsessed with it. So he was coming over and he's like, I know you're not gonna make tots because I always had to have a side of tots for him because he just always wanted it, and his mom wouldn't make it for him because it's not good to have every meal. But I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do something, and I was like, let me put it in sliders because I love making different kinds of sliders. And being a vegetarian, there's a lot you can experiment with, but a lot you can't experiment with in sliders. So I've tried sliders all the time. Like the amount of slider recipes I have tried is next level. So I'm like, I'm gonna put his love for tots and my love for sliders together, and that's how I came up with this. So we take some foil and we cover it. So we make sure that all the sides are covered up well. There we go. So you can see all the sides are covered up well. You have the butter over it, and now we're gonna pop this in the oven for like say 20-25 minutes, and then we take it out. So I already had my oven ready to go for that, which is very good idea to do from before when you're making these oven baked sliders, because then you don't have to wait. Because if you have to wait for the oven to warm up and then make the sliders, you're just delaying the process. Okay, so now that we're done with sliders, we're gonna move on to the next recipe, which is the baked elote dip, which is, I'm not exaggerating, one of my favorite dips to make because the flavors are simple, they're not overwhelming, and it just tastes so good with like everything. Just keep it as a side or just have it as a, like, when you have friends over, just make it. It's perfect for movie night, it's perfect for like game night parties, obviously. So our induction is on, and I don't know if you have seen that right now corn is trending because of the kid who loves corn with butter. So obviously if I'm making an loaded dip, I'm going to put some butter in because that's going to cook with the corn. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to TikTok and see kid who loves corn. You get what I mean. But go to TikTok after this live show is done, not right now. Okay, so the butter is melting, and I did some prep work. So I have the can of corn that's washed and drained here, ready to go. So I am cooking on low, and it's very important to cook this on low because we want the corn to maintain like the bite it has. We don't want it to get chewy. We don't want it to get overcooked. We want the integrity, as I will call it, of every corn kernel to be there. So while I think the butter is almost melted and we should be good to go in like a couple of seconds to put the corn in, but it's really quite simple because we're melting the butter and then we're going to like slightly saute the corn on a very low flame. Like I'm using a 3 when my induction can go up to a 10. So like a low flame. And we're gonna cook the corn in the butter so that it just like takes in all that butter and it's you I mean butter and corn guys. Come on. How do you guys like having corn? Do you like having it on the cob? Do you like try it with like different seasonings? If you have it on the cob, what's your favorite seasoning to have it with? And have you tried masala corn, which is like corn on the cob, but like the in like an Indian version of it with Indian spices? So like, have you tried masala corn on the cob? Because please go try that out if you have not. So what's your favorite way to have like corn on the cob, or your favorite way to have corn? Okay, so our butter is warm enough. There's a little bit of a sizzle, we don't want too much. And in goes the corn. And we are just gonna slightly saute it. Corn, butter, lime, and spices. That's amazing. That sounds so good. Maybe after this I should get some corn on the cob as well, right? So this is gonna slightly saute. So while this sautés, we're gonna talk about the spices that we use, which are very simple. I have some pre-measured salt, pepper, and sugar here. Everyone wants to try masala corn. I know everyone wants to try masala corn. It's really good. So, maybe if Walmart wants to do another live in which we talk about masala corn, we could do that. Why not? Um, but masala corn is really good. So when you boil the corn and or pressure cook it the way you want, you use Indian flavorings like the red chili powder, but the Indian red chili powder, not paprika. And you use cumin powder, you use lime, you add a little bit of black salt, and in India we call it kala namak, which is black salt. So you use a bit of all of that and just rub some lime on it, and obviously butter, and it's so good. So you guys have to try it, and I know you guys don't want to try it, which is great. Y'all are listening to me. So okay, the corn is almost here. So as I was saying, the spices for this we're going to use very simple: salt, pepper, sugar, and I got some ground cumin from this is organic grade value. I'm just gonna add in like a teeny bit because the flavors in this are very simple. But that's what really makes this dish like stand out, and it doesn't overpower. Like the sliders have so much flavor going on in them, which is amazing in its own way. And then this is simple, so it kind of just creates a beautiful balance if you were to serve it together. Okay, so our corn is good. I can see it glistening, and we don't want to overcook it, as I was saying. So in goes our spices, and we just give it a toss. Let it soak it all in for like a minute, not too long. And then, so I, the mixture that goes in this corn is there's heavy cream. Um, we got some sour cream from Walmart as well, and mayo. That's combination that you cannot go wrong with, right? So I already have added the sour cream and heavy cream in there, and then goes the mayo. Should be about right. And I don't know if you guys can hear the corn sizzling a little bit, but that's all we want. We don't want too much of a sizzle on the pan at all. So I'm just gonna add all this in out of the way and just give it a mix. Are you guys excited that summer is coming to an end, or are you sad that summer's coming to an end? Because it's a very controversial topic right now that summer's coming to an end. People, there's this, it's so polarized with people loving summer or not. So what do you guys think? Are you all pro summer or pro like fall, winter? Okay. Um, that's it. This is combined, so we're gonna turn off the heat and get the baking dish for this. And now we're gonna sad you okay, you guys love summer, so kind of like me also. I like summer more than the cold. I don't do well in the cold, and I live in Jersey City, New York, where The cold is horrible. So I did that to myself. Varsha, once the corn summer can come and go. Yes, for sure. I mean, I wish I could like give it through like, a feature of it, cooking and just pass it on. So I'm using this dish. And why I'm using this dish is because in this dip, one of the most important things is that we want to keep it a thin layer. We don't want a very thick layer because it's just easier to scoop and it cooks more evenly in the oven because we don't want one part of the corn to overcook and not. So I'm just going to place it here because it's heat resistant. And you guys can see how good that corn looks right now. So we dump that in and just spread it out evenly. And I do like to give it a mix in here just so that all the liquid and corn, it's like more, uniform versus some part getting dry in the oven or not. So this is what it looks, which as it is looks good, but we're going to make it better with this cheese. So I'm using the Walmart Fiesta blend great value cheese here, which is like Fiesta, right? And again, you can go as light or heavy with the cheese as you want. So I'm gonna go kind of medium. So it's there, but it's not like overpowering. I think that's a good amount. I don't know if you guys agree or not. But so that's what it looks like with the cheese. And this is gonna go in the oven just till the cheese melts. That's all we want. So let's put that in the oven. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you the story of how I tried this corn the first time and came up with this recipe because it's a really fun one, and you guys will see that being the person who can cook in a friends group sometimes can pay off, and sometimes you're just like really battered and people take advantage of you. So I was in San Francisco celebrating a friend's birthday, and we went to this restaurant, like bar restaurant, and we tried this corn, and it was so good. So this recipe is inspired by that restaurant. I do not remember the name right now. I'm completely blanking on it. But so we went there and we tried this and we loved it. And we came back home and they were like, you know what, we want you to perfect that corn recipe because it's so good, everyone needs to try it. So they made me try it for like 4 times. I made this 4 different times with like different ingredients, like different proportions of things till I got it right. And when I got it right, it was so worth it. But I love experimenting with food, and which led to the good part of it. But that's what happens when you go out with friends and you know how to cook. They make you do all this work. I mean, but that led me to this class here and teaching it to you guys. So like full circle moment. Okay, so if you guys have any questions about any other recipes, because this will take a minute or two in the oven, so I'd love to answer them right now. If you have any questions about, the kind of what ingredients that I've used from Walmart or any of the recipes, if you have any questions, I'd love to like answer them right now. That would actually be great to like fill up this time. If not, I'm gonna ask you a little bit. So you ask me questions or I ask you a question. So you can pick. Um, you know what? Let me ask you the riddle. So what comes down but never goes up? So let's see if anyone can answer that riddle. What comes down but never goes up? Okay, more about masala corn. Great. Um, I think I should share a recipe for masala corn now. Okay, so it's essentially how you would make corn on the cob, where you can grill it if you want. I personally like grilling it, or you can even just boil it like directly, and you keep the spice mixture ready, which is again red chili powder. Sorry, you have cumin powder, you have black salt, a little bit of sugar to balance it all up. You can use coriander powder also if you want to. Um, very like typical ingredients that are used in Indian cooking. And that's the masala part of it. Like so the spices in Hindi, which is the Indian word for spices is masala. So that's why it's called masala corn. So you rub that mixture. You can actually use like a lemon, like dip the lemon in the spice mixture and just like rub it over. the corn and then just have it because you want a little bit of the tang. So if you don't rub it directly with the like lime or lemon wedge, you like pour some of the lime or lemon over it. Are most of the ingredients from Walmart? Yes. Most I sourced all my ingredients from Walmart, and I would say 99% of them are like great value or market side. Like this this law is market side. This is great value. This is great value. It's really easy because the it's good quality at a very reasonable price. So when you're making this, it's you have a party, you have friends over, you're cooking so much, you have family over. You want them to have like the best food, but you don't want to spend like too much of money on it also, if you get what I mean. Like you don't want to break the bank. So this is like I think like Walmart because you when you're cooking like with good ingredients and you're cooking with love, it's always going to be good. I sounded so cliche right now, I know. I use salted butter. That's why there was no salt in the sliders. I just prefer using that. Okay. So our corn is ready, and that's how that looks. But it's not, it's almost ready, I would say. So let's see. So I'm gonna tilt it, but it's moving a little bit, but you guys get it. Okay. Ooh, that's hot. So finishing touches. I'm gonna take a little bit of paprika. Again, great value paprika, and just slightly ever so sprinkle that on it. Again, not too much because we don't want to overpower anything. I know that because I tried it 5 times before I could even come close to what it was. And a little bit of chopped coriander. Okay, a lot of people I know do not like the taste of coriander leaves, cilantro. If you don't, you can use parsley, like the flat leaf Italian parsley, but I prefer coriander, cilantro. But you do you, what makes you happy. So let me get this up for you guys to see. This is what it looks finished without the little tilt part here. And you can't have a dip without chips. So let's do this, shall we? I got the scoops one. But just dip that in. You got a little bit of cheese pull going on, but not too much. And I'm gonna wait for a minute before I try it because my mouth's gonna burn. But you guys get the point. Like you can serve it as scoops, you can serve it with chips. You know what I'm actually gonna do with this today is I'm actually going to put it in a quesadilla, like in a tortilla, and like make it into a quesadilla. You can make this into tacos. You could like it's so versatile. Like I don't think you'll ever have this dip left over because I've made it like 4 5 times after I perfected it for friends and family, and there's never been enough for me to have. So I'm probably gonna like I'm relishing this today. But in case you ever have leftovers, you can just use it as a quesadilla filling, as a taco filling, and you know, just or even you can just serve it in like mini canopies or stuff like that. But okay, I think it's warm enough now. Like, okay, it's so awkward eating in front of the camera, but this is so good. I'm gonna move this out of the way for us. Sorry about that. And our sliders are out of the oven. Let me close that up. Okay, since nobody answered that riddle, it's rain. Rain comes down, it never goes up. I'm smart also. I can just not cook. Okay, and our sliders are out of the oven. Okay, I'm gonna lift it like this so you can see what I mean. You guys see how beautiful that looks? Okay, this is very hot, but I'm gonna try doing this without burning my hands because I want to get that for you. Maybe what I'm gonna do is just cut it ever so slightly so that it's easier to pull But it's not going to be easier to cook. I'm still going to burn my hands because it's really hot, but that's the beauty of it. And a little bit here. Do you guys love cheese balls as much as clearly I do? You see that? You see that? Oh, that's hot. But also, do you see how the bottom has crisped up and the top is like soft and crispy at the same time, but not as crispy as the bottom? And let's get another piece from here to show you like the nice inside as well and how evenly everything just cooks. Oh, look at that. Do you guys see that? Ah. Okay. So we got the cheese, we got the tots. I'm gonna dissect this here. We got the slaw, which still has a little bit of a crunch, and whew, that's your slider. If I eat this right now, I will burn myself, I think, but let's go in for a taste test. Oh my God. Please try this if you love tots. If you ever need an extra friend, please. I'm. I think I make a very good friend because I can cook. This is me. I don't know. That should be my bio on some friendship app. That please be my friend because I can cook, and you always get food. But that's our sliders, and that's our elote dip, and it just come together so beautifully. This is my dinner. You guys can be jealous of me, but I think if there are any more questions, then I'd love to answer them. But otherwise, I think this was so much fun. And thank you, Walmart, and thank you, Tastemade. Like, really shout out to Tastemade for like supporting creators and being so helpful. The entire team of Tastemade, whoever I've interacted with, they're all amazing. And Walmart products, I love. Like, I used to use the app a lot for pickup and delivery, like during the 2020 lockdown. It's just so convenient for pickup and delivery. You just go there, everything's ready. You set the time, you set your parking space. I still use it for like all of these ingredients have been from pickup and delivery. I don't know the last time I entered a Walmart store because of that. So, highly recommend it. But thank you guys so much for joining me. This was wonderful. I had a blast cooking with you guys. I hope you all had the same amount of fun. But happy cooking.